lovely listeners, and welcome to the Mindful Living podcast with your host, Sana. Today, we are about to uncover a treasure trove of wisdom that's equal parts inspiring and empowering. Joining us is the incredible Echo Wang, a Canadian entrepreneur, founder of Yoga Kawa, and a powerhouse mompreneur who has redefined resilience. From navigating the hidden challenges of female urinary incontinence and postpartum depression to balancing many roles of motherhood and leadership, Echo has done it all with grace and grit. And in this episode, we are breaking down stigmas, shining a light on the unspoken struggles, and discovering how mindfulness, yoga, and a whole lot of determination can lead to breakthroughs. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and get ready to be inspired. Hmm. Echo, welcome to the show, and it's an absolute pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you, Sana. What a great topic. I'm really looking forward to have a discussion with you.
Absolutely. So, Echo, why do you think topics like postpartum depression, urinary incontinence, they're still considered taboo, and how can we create more open conversations around them?
For sure. Just to give some context, I am a mom with one child, a son of 4 years old, and I also own my business in the corporate wellness called Yoga Kawa. So I am juggling, I guess, two offsprings. One is the business, and of course, my most important is my son. Uh, I think it's important that we talk about it as those who are experiencing motherhood, entrepreneurship with being a mother at the same time, to create more understanding so we can find more allies to understand. So it's never you against me against you. But I think if we find more understanding, then we can work together and be supportive of each other. So no one ever feel like they have to shut their voice or that they have to compromise their needs.
Hmm. Also, what inspired you to create Yoga Kawa?
Thank you. I created Yoga Kawa because before I created Yoga Kawa, I was practicing yoga and a yoga teacher for about, let's see, about almost 8 years before I
Mhm.
created Yoga Kawa. Prior to that, I was a part-time practicing yogi
Okay.
and a yoga teacher working in the corporate world. And from my own experience with my family, many other examples that I've seen in my own real life, and what I've researched and found is that people are being stressed at work. And if you don't take the time to let that stress release, to deal with that stress pressure, it's very easy for them to take it home. And at home, sometimes it could be a beautiful place for you to relax if you have that supportive partner. Or maybe it's another thing to do again. And then it's very easy for another errand, another Lego pieces on the floor that you step on to trigger that stress release. And maybe we unfortunately end up releasing those pressure and stress through yelling or screaming at the wrongful time. And that may end up hurting those who are closest and who loves you the most, your family. For example, I've seen that my father, who is also an entrepreneur, you know, as a business owner, sometimes things just don't go as well. Maybe the assembly line broke down, the partnership didn't work out as the way as you wanted. And, as an entrepreneur, you are really working on your business 24/7. And sometimes that emotion from his business can carry over to our family. And obviously my mom is not thinking about what kind of stressful day he had at work sometime, and she needs help. And he may just lash out sometime on not his true intention, but it does happen. And I can only see, much more unfortunate example than just my dad yelling at mom because he hadn't had a good day at work, or my mom yelling back because my dad bought the wrong grocery type of thing when he comes home. And that doesn't help with the marriage. And for little children to see, they don't understand, is that act of love? Doesn't sound like act of love, or then maybe they'll learn the wrong way to love. So I created Yoga Kawa because I want to help people who are working know how to separate that emotion, not separate, but to deal with that emotion prior to they going to a harmonious home or a place that is supposed to be harmonious, so that, unfortunate example like what I just give you don't happen. That way, we can achieve work-life balance, work-life harmony, sorry, work-life harmony.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the right word to be coined instead of work-life balance. Um, Also, uh, another question comes to my mind when you mention about yoga. So there is an argument that yoga and mindfulness, they're just trendy solutions that don't address the root causes of the issues. So what's your take on that, Echo?
Wow, that's a profound one, Sana. Thank you so much. Here's another one to add. Um, there's report coming out that, mindfulness practice may have adverse effects, like negative effect. Not alone talking about no effect, but adverse effect. So does it address the root cause? Mm, I think it's a self-improvement journey. And as a coach, meditation yoga coach, here's what I recognize. So kind of like a coach to therapy, a single yoga class, a single meditation session, just like a single counseling. We our class, these kind of session or time spent together can help uncover, um, you know, symptoms of root causes. So now imagine on the floor, not on the floor, a better example. So you uncovered symptom. And then if you don't take the time to be disciplined and come back for the next section, how do you deal with a bad symptom that just come out?
Mm,
So it's kind of like you found back to the floor example. So, a lot of people like to brush, not everybody like to brush, but example of brushing the problem or the dust under the carpet is something we have said in Western world. Right. So you hide those unpleasant things under the carpet, but nobody ever dealt with it, right? And then now, let's say we remove the carpet a little bit and we see the dust. Okay, we saw the dust. What do we do now? Do we go get a vacuum? Or do we find out, say, hey, who's been doing this? Putting dust under the carpet instead of putting the garbage bin, right? So it's one session can help some people release and find rejuvenation right away. Some people may, for some people, other people, maybe just, allowing some of the emotion to come out. And that emotion came out from where? But you don't know, because you know what? In a public yoga class, 20 people and a yoga teacher, you did a class, you feel great, and then the emotion got released. But if there's more emotions coming out, but no one to help you guide through it through multiple sessions. So a really good example is, if you know you have some trauma that you need to deal with, you don't just go see a counselor for one session. You have to continue the session, be disciplined on a timely basis in order to address the root cause. Otherwise, it's just symptom coming out and then repressing again and symptom coming out. For some, I'm not saying for all. Some people have the great capability of self-reflect and self-regulate their emotions, and they can probably, go through one yoga class at a time to solve it, which is what happened with me. But, there's research saying that there is adverse effect about mindfulness, because you know what, you practice and these emotions come out, and then you know what, you just discover some trauma that you didn't know existed, and there's no one that's a professional that's guiding you through it, right? And then yeah, you might not end up getting the root cause solved. So definitely, I agree with that.
makes sense. Makes sense. Also, as a mom and entrepreneur, have you ever faced moments where you felt completely overwhelmed by these challenges. How did yoga and mindfulness play a role in helping you through them?
Thank you. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know how to answer otherwise, but absolutely, because like I said, I created Yoga Kawa so that we learn how to manage our emotion, manage our stress, build resilience so that, we don't lash out our emotions, our stress on at the wrong time and creating more karma, creating more hurt in the community. So as a mom, um, what I've seen very interesting is I didn't know that a lot of mom out there cannot stand a crying child. I personally can. But I've seen parents that when the child start to cry, they panic. They get really, really stressed out and right away. For me, I think with years of yoga, maybe I can, maybe it's my mom, maybe it's the support I have, but maybe it's yoga that I don't panic when the child is crying. I don't panic the child is whining, arguing, maybe throwing toys. That's challenging for me. I guess everybody had their thing. But when I was building my business at the same time having a child, um, I'm lucky that he does not have any physical challenges or a behavioral problem. I think he's quite a neurotypical child from what I've seen. So there's no crazy outburst than what I've already expected. So with yoga, again, just no matter how busy I am with cooking, with running my own business, taking care of myself, maybe lack of sleep, all that stuff, I think yoga has really helped me to never um, um, release my emotional wrongfully towards my family or towards my child. Maybe my business take a little suffering there, but yeah, never in my family. So I'm very lucky that way. That yoga, years of practice of yoga, I'm very self-aware when that annoyance bubbles up and I'm like, oh, I need a little bit timeout. And I'll be able to take action to clear it first and then come back to my family with loving kindness again. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
absolutely. And it is
Mm.
really inspiring. Um, Also, you know, uh, postpartum depression. It's something many women experience, but often they feel too ashamed to talk about. So, can you
Mhm.
share your thoughts on how we can break the stigma surrounding it, and what tools or practices, helped you and others navigate through this challenge?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. When I see news about moms going through postpartum, and I've heard of horrible things that, suicides or maybe endangering the little one, I feel so terrible. And of course, I love talking about this. If I can help share some light to those who are supporting someone who's going through postpartum or someone who's going through postpartum, I love it. So thank you so much for this opportunity. So now everybody's experience different, and I'd love to share mine so that maybe there's more ways to understand this. So of course, because of the birth, our hormone change. So it's kind of like a dial in your body that just simply something is off. And you know what? With good nutrition, good support, the dial will come back, right? It's kind of like you're running a plane. You can see a cockpit before in there. There's so many dials, so many buttons, so many things to look at. So maybe you can think about, when you give birth, you know, maybe the engine is working a little bit too hard. Maybe something's working a little bit too hard, or something is off. It's not exactly in balance. So our hormone changes, and it should be tempered because you know what? It is just at that time. But, of course, with support, with good support, we can return to it. But with not good support, that hormonal balance may kind of stay. So it's very important that we understand that, first of all, if anybody is experiencing postpartum, you're not alone. Everybody hormone changes during this time. Some are visible, some are not. And it can be helped, so give it time, even though how hard it is, give it time. And really talk about it. Talk about with other moms. Mom friends around this time is so important. And I like to share of what I experienced through postpartum. So Um, so interesting that I look back on it. When I gave birth to my little one, for about 2 to 3 months, I was in a dark place.
Mm.
I was thinking about what have I done? I brought life in this overpopulated world to consume more resources.
Right.
So I felt like I was evil. What did I do? I didn't think it through. I just thought this is another woman's process to have a child, to have a family. I did it, but now look at what I've done. I brought another life in this world to consume. Oh my, AI is coming. How's he going to find a job? Oh my, how am I going to provide to it? Oh, I done a terrible thing by giving birth. That's what I thought. And, and because we're not sleeping, well, I'm not sleeping. So late night, what do? I doom scroll. I scroll my my Facebook. And of course, the more sad things I look, and then because I was in a sad state, I click on it, and guess what does Facebook do? They feed me more bad things.
Correct.
So at that time, with Yoga Kawa, because we are a pet integrated class, so I love animals, and somehow Facebook just chased me with animal brutality, animal, um, animal abuses, animal doing this by human, animal trades, fur, eating meat, how people cook animals. And I was just so devastated. I'm like, oh my God, human can be so evil, so terrible. And then I go back again. Oh my God, what have I done? I created a human. And if I don't do it right, he might end up like this. Oh my God, consuming animals. And it's just a terrible cycle. So all I kept thought about is, oh my God, I created a life and I probably shouldn't have. And I can only imagine like someone who have it worse than me. Yeah, I can see how, the terrible news of suicides or hurting their children can happen. I actually really felt it. And I kept blaming myself. And of course I didn't tell anyone because you know what? In the morning, I'm sleeping. At night, I'm alone, awake in the dark. And then catering to just a little one that cries and doesn't know anything that I talk about. So I have no one to talk to. But thank God I had mom who gave birth around the same time, so we're on on the similar timing. And as a mom, it's cool that we can text each other like 2, 3 a.m. and then we won't feel that sorry I bothered you because I know that person is probably awake too, and we just don't have a schedule anymore. So thank goodness I have my mom friends at that time. And then she told me like, listen, it's just right now. It's only hard now. Give it time, give it time. And you know what? That just really helped. And she's right. It's just right now. Give it time. And you know what? At during those moments, it is hard. It is hard. Every day you have to remember it's just right now. Everybody goes through this 2 to 3 years until, ideally your little one learn to talk, learn to walk and this stuff. So yeah, I'm so lucky that afterwards I got out of it. But now that I talked about, I still remember those dark time. Like I'm just in a corner, right eye on my left side, my son sleeping, but I just looking at him like I did something evil. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Whoopsie.
Yeah, it is pretty dark, and but it requires a lot of um, courage and vulnerability to share
Mm.
those utterly dark moments. But of course, thank you so much for sharing with all of us, Echo. And it's really, really once again empowering. And of course, to all the mothers, you know, nobody can fathom what we all mothers go through. It's a whole different level of power, and we have
Thank you.
to acknowledge it. So thank you so much, Echo. Oh,
Are you a mom, Sana?
no, I am not. I am
Ah,
not.
okay. May I share one more thing?
Yes.
And I think this will help. So, sometimes we don't end up sharing our story with people you trust. So I shared my postpartum experience with not so close of acquaintance.
Mhm.
And funny thing he said was, how tough is this? Woman has been going through this for generation. This is not new. Get over it. You know? Um,
Ignore ignorance.
if I want to find more ally, at that time I ignored it. But I think it's important that we share this, like people who don't understand. And yeah, women have been doing this generationally, but maybe 50 years ago, actually, 50 years ago, like mortality rate at pregnancy is pretty high. We're
Mm,
very lucky, or I'm very lucky right now that I don't die at giving birth.
yeah,
That I have a proper healthcare facility right now. But I can imagine, yeah, a lot of women go through this, and that's why we should celebrate moms. Not to say like you just did another thing that and then the mom could have done, right? Like I just thought that person was maybe at a dark time as well that commented it like this. I
yeah,
understand. Yeah, a lot of women did this. You're not alone. I'm not alone. But just because it's an evolution and it's natural doesn't mean it's not hard. So I
yeah,
hope if any woman ever faced challenging situation like this or hurtful words, it's just their journey is not done. They have a lot of learning to do, and
yeah.
it's not a reflection of us. It's a reflection of that person learning to appreciate what human evolution is about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very rightfully said. Also, you know, balancing a business and family, it is not easy. Of course, not only business and family, I think being a homemaker as well, it's not easy. Uh, so what uh, what are some of the unique challenges you have faced as a mompreneur, Echo, and how do you manage to stay grounded through it all? Because it can be so tough, at some particular moments. So how do you manage? How do you navigate through those?
For sure. And it's okay if I take because I we have 2 minutes left. Is that okay that I take a
Yeah,
little? It's my story.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Just stop me when you need to.
Okay.
I really don't think I have any unique challenges. That's the number one thing I would love the listener to know. I am not alone, and
Mhm.
my challenges are not unique because I think a lot of women go through it. But I think what's unique is it's hard to plan to perfection. I think perfection gets people worried a lot.
Yeah,
Before they have children, before they do anything, I think as an entrepreneur, like it's hard to take the perfect first steps. You just got to do it.
yeah.
But then again, there's people who have children when they're not financially ready, which is also heartbreaking. But I think probably what's unique is my business started at the time that I think I had enough foundation, such as financially, as well as emotionally, mentally. I mean, I had my son around 38, which is very late compared to other, but you know what? I took the time to prep, but it's still not perfect because now that I think about it, whoa, I could save up more money for this. But you know what? If I keep doing that, I will never get my son, I think. So I think what's unique a little bit better is I think because of my late timing, getting pregnant, having started my little family, creating life, I think emotionally, psychologically, financially, I was prepared to juggle.
Mm,
Now, not to say I'm smooth sailing right now, because what I fail to understand or really embody is prior to having my son, can still stay up late and hustle through a big project,
mm. Yes.
nonstop, really focused. Now it's very much in perspective that I do not have infinite amount of time. I
Mm,
understand, like I think a normal human being already know we don't have infinite amount of time, but it didn't really kick in and come clear to me
yeah.
until my son, because now my schedule really evolved around my son. And it's a wonderful feeling because now time is
Mhm.
precious, life is
Yeah.
precious. And now do feel that I probably could have been more productive prior to my son's arrival. but I don't regret it because now I have to learn to say no to things, right? Before I was, yes, that's that. And it's cool. Like when I was young or before my son, I could take on project that interests me. But now I take on projects that are important
Important.
and result oriented project. Like I've learned to choose the one with the most possibility. I really don't have time to try out everything now. Kind of sad, but also kind of happy because I think once you learn to focus on important things and things that are meant for you, that interest you, that makes you feel alive, the universe will give you more of those instead of, oh, I can help that person do that too. I can help this person. I can try that out. Maybe I don't like it, but let's give it a try anyway. I think I passed that phase. I think I used my 20s and 30s for that. And then before my summer arrival, I probably had a little bit more flexibility for those fun projects, but not too meaningful. But now I only have time for meaningfulness. I really do have a priority list. I really only have about 6 hours in a day before my son come back home to work out, to work on my business, to run errands, to take care of home, to take care of business, so that when he come back, I can give him my attention. Yeah, that time is so limited.
Mm. But I think, that time limit molds you, the discipline, the focus required every second. And it is so important. I think it's a brilliant mompreneurship. I think it's a brilliant teacher, which
Thank
teaches
you.
of each and every moment. So
Thank you.
it's really,
And to add, oh, sorry.
yeah, please go on. Go on.
And to thank you. And to add, I'm on podcast because now I am saying I know how to, with a hindsight, I can talk about it. But don't want people to have a misunderstanding that it's easy peasy. The time it took for me to come to this point, to come with realization, it was ugly. It was ugly. It was a lot of crying. It was a lot of eye bags. It was a lot of messy houses. It was a lot of, adjusting with my partner's schedule. Everybody wants their own time. It was not pretty. So I just want to remind people like I may be, talking it with ease with Sana here, but prior to this talk, getting to this point, it was ugly, messy, unpleasant. But yeah, but there's worthwhile moments with my son, but it was not pretty, basically.
True, true. Also, Yoga Kawa is more than a yoga studio. It's a community. So, uh, what role does community play in breaking down stigmas and supporting women dealing with, challenges, like postpartum depression or urinary incontinence?
For sure. I think just like we spoke about, if I didn't have that mom friend to keep me going at night, to help me cut those time that said, oh, I did a bad thing. And this mom saying like, yeah, everybody feels like that. It's temporary. You're not alone. Don't worry. You'll get through it. And just simple like that. You'll get through it. Okay. Don't focus on this moment right now. They grow up like someone to encourage you, right? And in a community, you have people from different life stages, different life lessons. And to come together, be able to talk about is so important. So I do share my postpartum stories to young moms, to that make sure that, when that happens, feel free to come talk to me. Feel free to pin me. It's never too late, right? I will be delayed with my message, but it's never too late, right? Within 24 hours, I can respond, right? And also, that's postpartum. And I think a podcast like yours who spend time talking about it is going to be really helpful because you know what? Sometimes I was just scrolling or listening, finding more help, finding a lifeboat to help. So I'm sure someone will come to your podcast and realize, wow, thank God I heard that podcast in my dark time, right?
Mhm.
And, about urinary incontinence, that's another thing that people don't talk about. Oh, who talks about washroom stuff, broadly and such. But you know what? As a yoga teacher people might have known, sometimes we have students that farts in the class and nobody says a thing because, some of the posture are so good for digestion and letting out a little air, it's normal. So as a yoga teacher, I'm not shy about talking about these things. So it is so challenging that if you go through, I mean, anybody who judges this is terrible. Like if you look at any wonderful creature on our Mother Earth, that's mammal, that's delivering uh, a grown creature or grown being through a hole. That's incomparable to the size. Like, of course, it takes time to get the muscle back. And if we're so busy taking care of the child, once that area has learned to deliver a child, it takes time for that muscle to come back and have its own proper tool in this whole waste management system. So it's challenging because sometimes, I mean, not a lot of people know because I hide it well. And I think all women know now too, we use our pads, we use different type of underwear to help us prevent these times. But it's challenging that sometimes I can't laugh out too loud. So I have to go like, instead of, laughing like I enjoy life, I have to go like, so that I don't, overuse that area and then cause an accident. Um, every time I cough, I mean, during COVID and with your child bringing um, cold and flu home, there's few times that my son gave me lots of cold and flu. And you know what? With cough, unstoppable cough, it is such a terrible feeling that you're trying to fight a cold and you're trying to go to the washroom and change all the time. Because when you cough, it happens really badly.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, and then you feel, and then you know what? When you don't feel like yourself, which is losing a muscle like that and making a mess like that, when they're so messy already by having a child, messy house, messy diaper, everything, it's definitely harder to feel good. Very hard to feel good. And you feel like I'm not myself. And then sometime the negative talk continues. I'm not myself. Uh-oh, where am I going to get my muscle back? Where am I going to find time to work on this muscle back? How else going to affect me? Oh, a cold hits you. This is terrible. I can't stop coughing and I can't stop that area misbehaving. It's just, you know what? Not having a control over your body, even in that tiny area, it's a terrible feeling. And obviously I can't compare it with other people who has physically disabling a certain area or special in a certain area, like just having that area misbehaving, feeling like you're making mess all the time, you can't control it, and moment of embarrassment may just be the next moment. It's not easy, and your partner has to be really really supportive. Like sometimes it took some time for my friend who don't have children to understand how come when I cough I have to move my knee in a way to squat down a little bit, right? Because that way, and it's a funny cough. I cough and my knee opens up like I'm a ballerina because only by doing that, there's no mistakes happening for me. Right? I learned to compensate by making weird jumps or weird squat in public in order for accident not to happen. Yeah.
Oh, also,
Yeah, sorry. But you know what? Sorry, it happens. It happens. I mean, we just naturally deliver something amazing. We create a life. This is just a part of the process.
yeah, it is. It is. Lovely, lovely. Also, before we wrap up this empowering conversation, Echo, what advice would you give to women juggling similar roles, who feel stuck, whether it's due to health conditions, mental health struggles, or the pressures of being a mompreneur?
Mm, thank you. Very hard question. For mompreneurs or females, I think I will have different advices for each group.
Okay.
Juggling. Well, I guess all women juggle a lot, I would say. Um, I think it's already beaten to the ground, but it's very important that we recognize this is self-care is important. It's not a trendy word to talk about. It's that in this busy world, it's very easy to lose yourself if we're not holding our value tightly, holding on to who we are tightly. I can't say this for all women, but it's for women that may resonate with me. I used to suffer from people pleasing, and I come from a country that has strong gender role expectation. So, being able to do it all because my mom did it. If my mom did it, why can't I? So, I had to make sure that I self-check myself and understand that I need to have, while I'm trying to make everybody happy, self-compassion is number one. Because when I fall, my family will fall with me. Who's going to cook? Who's going to take care of the son? Who's going to take care of the business? So for the kindness of keeping everybody else sane, and I actually had to take care of myself first. So it's kind of like saying, I take care of you, my loving family and friends, by taking care of me. So that every time I show up, I bring the best of me. So I think self-care is a mandatory thing for us to do to make sure our cup, if sometimes we check in, if it's empty, we need to find ways to fill it back up. It's not, sometimes it could be just taking a bath. Sometimes it could be a stroll in the library. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. You don't have to follow the online social media, what self-care is, spending, I don't know, eating expensive restaurant when that's not your cup of tea. Fill up your cup the way you want, but fill it up so that you are living your life on your own terms and still have the capacity to pour a little bit of whatever that's in your cup to other people who needs it. Women are powerful. Women are magnifiers, amplifiers, but it start by taking care of ourselves, and our compassion and empathy for other will overflow. But again, take the time to fill the cup back up. Yeah.
Lovely. Lovely. What a message, Echo. Wow.
Thanks, Anna.
So if our listeners, they would wish to connect with you and explore more about your insights and Yoga Kawa, how they can do that.
Oh, thanks so much. I'm not sure if your podcast do it, but you can find me. Of course, if you type in Yoga Kawa, I don't think there's another Yoga Kawa out there on Earth or on Google at the moment. But if you type in Yoga Kawa, that's YOGA for yoga, Kawa, which is river in Japanese, Kawa. It's very easy to find. Or you can find me simply just by typing my name, Echo Wang, ECHOWANG, and I love to connect with anyone who feel like they can use a little guidance or a little community building or support. Yeah, thank you so much.
Lovely. We'll have all the details mentioned in the show notes. And Echo, thank you so much for this amazing conversation. You have truly, I think, shed light on some of the toughest challenges women face and how we can empower ourselves to rise above them with mindfulness, yoga, and also a supportive community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sona, for taking the time.
And to all our listeners, remember this: you are not alone. Whether you are navigating motherhood, battling hidden health struggles, or chasing your entrepreneurial dreams, there is a path to healing and growth. So, for more about Echo's work and the incredible Yoga Kava community, check out the links in the show notes. And until next time, this is your host, Sana, reminding you to stay mindful, embrace your journey, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.